राम सीता राम राम राम।
हरे राम 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 सीता राम राम राम।
सीता राम राम राम
सीता राम राम राम।
सीता राम राम राम
सीता राम राम राम।
सीता राम राम राम
सीता राम राम राम।
सीता राम राम राम।
सीता राम राम राम।
सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतन की
जय।
जय जय राम जानकी राम।
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 रघुकुल भूषण राजा राम।
रघुकुल भूषण राजा राम।
रघुकुल भूषण राजा राम।
रघुकुल भूषण राजा राम।
जय जय राम जानकी राम।
जय जय राम जानकी राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
Hari Om everyone. Can you all hear me clearly? Awesome. I think as the summer season begins, the number of people joining in will kind of reduce, but that is understandable. They can catch up with the YouTube. Wherever you're going, be careful with the crowds. Just be extra cautious. I know you can recover, but prevention is better than cure. Just saying it. So, those who have started planning their vacations, India trips, have a safe one. We will start with the invocation, then go through Lalita Sahasranamam, and then Bhagavatam. We have left it in the middle. We are in the 29th chapter of the third canto. So we will go through that sequence. So let's begin. Oh. ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Let us begin. ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं सिन्दूरारुणविग्रहां त्रिनयनां माणिक्यमौलिस्फुरत् तारानायकशेखरां स्मितमुखीमापीनवक्षोरुहां पाणिभ्यां मलिपूर्णरत्नचषकं रक्तोत्पलं बिभ्रतीं सौम्यां रत्नघटस्थरक्तचरणां ध्यायेत् परामम्बिकाम् अरुणां करुणातरङ्गिताक्षीं धृतपाशाङ्कुशपुष्पबाणचापाम् अणिमादिभिरावृतां मयूखैः अहमित्येव विभावये भवानीं ध्यायेत् पद्मासनस्थां विकसितवदनां पद्मपत्रायताक्षीं हेमाभां पीतवस्त्रां करकलितलसद्धेमपद्मां वराङ्गीं सर्वालङ्कारयुक्तां सततमभयदां भक्तनम्रां भवानीं श्रीविद्यां शान्तमूर्तिं सकलसुरनुतां सर्वसम्पत्प्रदात्रीं सकुङ्कुमविलेपनामलिकचुम्बिकस्तूरिकां समन्दहसितेक्षणां सशरचापपाशाङ्कुशाम् अशेषजनमोहिनीमरुणमाल्यभूषाम्बरां जपाकुसुमभासुरां जपविधौ स्मरेदम्बिकाम्. ॐ श्रीमाता श्रीमहाराज्ञी श्रीमत्सिंहासनेश्वरी चिदग्निकुण्डसम्भूता देवकार्यसमुद्यता उद्यद्भानुसहस्रावा चतुर्बाहुसमन्विता रागस्वरूपपाषाढ्या क्रोधाकाराङ्कुशोज्ज्वला मनोरूपेक्षुकोदण्डा पञ्चतन्मात्रसायका निजारुणप्रभापूरा मज्जद्ब्रह्माण्डमण्डला चम्पकाशोकपुन्नागसौगन्धिकलसत्कचा कुरुविन्दमनिश्रेणी कनत्कोटीरमण्डिता अष्टमीचन्द्रविभ्राजदलिकस्थलशोभिता मुखचन्द्रकलङ्काभा मृगनाभिविशेषका वदनस्मरमाङ्गल्य गृहतोरणचिल्लिका वक्त्रलक्ष्मीपरीवाह चलन्मीनाभलोचना नवचम्पकपुष्पाभा नासादण्डविराजिता ताराकान्तितिरस्कारी नासाभरणभासुरा कदम्बमञ्जरीक्लुप्तकर्णपूरमनोहरा ताटङ्कयुगलीभूता तपनोडुपमण्डला पद्मरागशिलादर्श परिभाविकपोलभूः नवविद्रुमबिम्बश्रीन्यक्कार्यतनच्छदा शुद्धविद्याङ्कुराकारा द्विजपङ्क्तिद्वयोज्ज्वला कर्पूरवीटिकामोदा समाकर्षिदिगन्तरा निजसल्लापमाधुर्य विनिर्भत्सितकच्छपी मन्दस्मितप्रभापूरा मज्जत्कामेशमानसा अनाकलितसादृश चिबुकश्रीविराजिता कामेशबद्धमाङ्गल्य सूत्रशोभितकन्धरा कनकाङ्गदकेयूर कमनीयभुजान्विता रत्नग्रैवेयचिन्ताकलोलमुक्ता फलान्विता कामेश्वरप्रेमरत्नमणिप्रतिपनस्तनी नाभ्यालवालरोमाली लताफलकुचद्वयी लक्षरोमलताधारा तासमुन्नेयमध्यमा स्तनभारदलन्मध्य पट्टबन्धवलित्रया अरुणारुणकौसुम्भ वस्त्रभास्वत्कटीतटी रत्नकिङ्किणिकारम्य रशनादामभूषिता कामेशज्ञातसौभाग्यमार्दवोरुद्वयान्विता माणिक्यमकुटाकार जानुद्वयविराजिता इन्द्रगोपपरिक्षिप्तस्मरतूर्णाभुजङ्गिका गूढगुल्फा कूर्मपृष्ठा जयिष्णुप्रपदान्विता नखदीदिति सञ्चन्ना नमज्जनतमो गुण पदद्वय प्रभाजाल पराकृत सरोरुहा सिंजानमणि मंजीर मंडित श्रीपदाम्बुजा मरालीमंदगमना महालावण्यशेवदिः सर्वारुणानवद्यांगी सर्वाभरणभूषिता शिवकामेश्वराङ्कस्था शिवा स्वाधीनवल्लभा सुमेरुमध्यशृङ्गस्था श्रीमन्नगरनायिका चिन्तामणिगृहान्तस्था पञ्चब्रह्मासनस्थिता महापद्माटवी संस्था कदम्बवनवासिनी सुधासागरमध्यस्था कामाक्षी कामदायिनी देवर्षिगणसङ्घाता स्तूयमानात्मवैभवा भण्डासुरवधोद्युक्ता शक्तिसेना समन्विता संपत्करी समारूढ़ सिंधुरव्रज सेविता अश्वारूढ़ाधिष्ठिताश्व कोटिकोटिभिरावृता चक्रराजरथारूढ़ा सर्वायुध परिष्कृता गेयचक्ररथारूढ़ा मंत्रिणी परिसेविता किरिचक्ररथारूढ़ा दंडनाथा पुरस्कृता ज्वालामालिनिकाक्षिप्त वह्निप्राकारमध्यगा भण्डसैन्यवधोद्युक्ता शक्तिविक्रमहर्षिता नित्या पराक्रम अटोपा निरीक्षण समुत्सुका भण्डपुत्रवधोद्युक्ता बाला विक्रमनंदिता मंत्रिण्यंबा विरचिता विषंगवधतोषिता विशुक्रप्राणहरणा वाराही वीर्यनंदिता कामेश्वरमुखालोक कल्पित श्रीगणेश्वरा महागणेश निर्भिन्ना विघ्नयंत्र प्रहर्षिता भंडा सुरेंद्र निर्मुक्ता शस्त्र प्रत्यस्त्रवर्षिणी करांगुलिनखोत्पन्ना नारायण दशाकृति महापाशुपतास्ताग्नि निर्दग्धासुर सैनिका कामेश्वरास्त निर्दग्धा सभंडासुर शून्यका ब्रह्मोपेन्द्र महेन्द्रादि देव संस्तुत वैभवा हर नेत्राग्नि संदग्धा काम संजीवन औषधि श्रीमद्वाग्भव कूटैका स्वरूप मुखपंकजा कंठादक्कटि पर्यंता मध्यकूट स्वरूपिणी शक्तिकूटैकतापन्ना कट्यदौभागधारिणी मूलमंत्रात्मिका मूल कूटत्रयकलेवरा कुलामृतैकरसिका कुलसंकेतपालिनी कुलांगना कुलांतस्था कौलिनी कुलयोगिनी अकुला समयांतस्था समयाचार तत्परा मूलाधारैक निलया ब्रह्मग्रंथि विभेदिनी मणिपूरांतरुदिता विष्णुग्रंथि विभेदिनी आज्ञाचक्रांतरालस्था रुद्रग्रंथि विभेदिनी सहस्राराम्बुजारूढ़ा सुधासाराभिवर्षिणी तडिल्लता समरुचि षट्चक्रोपरि संस्थिता महाशक्ति कुंडलिनी बिसतंतुतनीयसी भवानी भावनागम्या भवारण्यकुठारिका भद्रप्रिया भद्रमूर्तिर्भक्त सौभाग्यदायिनी भक्तिप्रिया भक्तिगम्या भक्तिवश्या भयापहा शांभवी शारदाराध्या शर्वाणी शर्मदायिनी शांकरी श्रीकरी साध्वी शरच्चंद्रनिभानना शातोदरी शांतिमती निराधारा निरंजना निर्लेपा निर्मला नित्या निराकारा निराकुला निर्गुणा निष्कला शांता निष्कामा निरुपप्लवा नित्यमुक्ता निर्विकारा निष्प्रपंचा निराश्रया नित्यशुद्धा नित्यबुद्धा निरवध्या निरंतरा निष्कारणा निष्कलंका निरुपाधिर्निधीश्वरा नीरागारा गमथनी निर्मदामदनाशिनी निश्चिंता निरहंकारा निर्मोहा मोहनाशिनी निर्ममा ममताहंत्री निष्पापा पापनाशिनी निष्क्रोधा क्रोधशमनी निर्लोभा लोभनाशिनी निस्संशया संशयग्नि निर्भवा भवनाशिनी निर्विकल्पा निराबाधा निर्भेदा भेदनाशिनी निर्नाशा मृत्युमथनी निष्क्रिया निष्परिग्रहा निस्तुला नीलचिकुरा निरपाया निरत्यया दुर्लभा दुर्गमा दुर्गा दुःखहंत्री सुखप्रदा दुष्टदूरा दुराचारा शमनी दोषवर्जिता सर्वज्ञा सांद्र करुणा समाना अधिकवर्जिता सर्वशक्तिमयी सर्वमंगला सद्गतिप्रदा सर्वेश्वरी सर्वमयी सर्वमंत्रस्वरूपिणी सर्वयंत्रात्मिका सर्वतंत्ररूपा मनोन्मनी माहेश्वरी महादेवी महालक्ष्मीर्मुणप्रिया महारूपा महापूज्या महापातकनाशिनी महामाया महासत्वा महाशक्तिर्महारतिः महाभोगा महेश्वर्या महावीर्या महाबला महाबुद्धिर्महासिद्धिर्महायोगेश्वरेश्वरी महातंत्रा महामंत्रा महायंत्रा महासना महायागक्रमाराध्या महाभैरवपूजिता महेश्वर महाकल्पा महातांडवसाक्षिणी महाकामेश महिषी महात्रिपुरसुंदरी चतुष्षष्टुपचाराढ्या चतुष्षष्टिकलामयी महाचतुष्षष्टिकोटि योगिनी गणसेविता मनुविद्या चंद्रविद्या चंद्रमंडलमध्यगा चारुरूपा चारुहासा चारुचंद्रकलाधरा चराचर जगन्नाथा चक्रराजनिकेतना पार्वती पद्मनयना पद्मराग समप्रभा पंचप्रेतासनासीना पंचब्रह्मस्वरूपिणी चिन्मयी परमानंदा विज्ञान घनरूपिणी ध्यानध्यातृध्येय रूपा धर्माधर्म विवर्जिता विश्वरूपा जागरिणी स्वपंती तेजसात्मिका सुप्ता प्राज्ञात्मिका तुर्या सर्वावस्था विवर्जिता सृष्टिकर्त्री ब्रह्मरूपा गोप्त्री गोविंदरूपिणी संहारिणी रुद्ररूपा तिरोधानकरीश्वरी सदाशिवानुग्रहदा पंचकृत्यपरायणा भानुमंडल मध्यस्था भैरवी भगमालिनी पद्मासना भगवती पद्मनाभ सहोदरी उन्मेष निमिषोत्पन्न विपन्न भुवनावली सहस्रशीर्षवदना सहस्राक्षी सहस्रपात आब्रह्म कीट जननी वर्णाश्रम विधायिनी निजाज्ञारूप निगमा पुण्या पुण्यफलप्रदा श्रुति सीमंत सिंदूरी कृतपादाब्जधूलिका सकलागम संदोहा शुक्ति संपुट मुक्तिका पुरुषार्थप्रदा पूर्णा भोगिनी भुवनेश्वरी अंबिकानादि निधना हरिब्रह्मेन्द्र सेविता नारायणी नादरूपा नामरूप विवर्जिता ह्रींकारी ह्रीमती हृदय हेयोपादेय वर्जिता राजराजार्चिता राज्ञी रम्या राजीवलोचना रंजनी रमणीरस्या रणत्किंकिणी मेखला रमा राकेन्दुवदना रतिरूपा रतिप्रिया रक्षाकरी राक्षसग्नि रामा रमणलंपटा काम्या कामकलारूपा कदम्बकुसुमप्रिया कल्याणी जगती कंदा करुणा रससागरा कलावती कलालापा कांता कादंबरी प्रिया वरदा वामनयना वारुणी मदविह्वला विश्वाधिका वेदवेद्या विंध्याचलनिवासिनी विधात्री वेदजननी विष्णुमाया विलासिनी क्षेत्रस्वरूपा क्षेत्रेशी क्षेत्र क्षेत्रज्ञपालिनी क्षयवृद्धि निर्मुक्ता क्षेत्रपाल समर्चिता विजया विमला वंद्या वंदारुजनवत्सला वाग्वादिनी वामकेशी वह्निमंडलवासिनी भक्तिमत्कल्पलतिका पशुपाश विमोचनी संहृता शेषपाषण्डा सदाचार प्रवर्तिका तापत्रयाग्नि संतप्ता समाह्लादन चंद्रिका तरुणी तापसाराध्या तनुमध्या तमोपहा चितिस्तत्पद लक्ष्यार्था चिदेक रसरूपिणी स्वात्मानंदल विभूता ब्रह्माद्यानंद संतति परा प्रत्यक्षिति रूपा पश्यन्ति परदेवता मध्यमा वैखरी रूपा भक्तमानसंसिका कामेश्वर प्राणनाड़ी कृतज्ञा कामपूजिता शृंगार रस संपूर्ण जया जालंधर स्थिता ओड्यानपीठ निलया बिंदुमंडलवासिनी रहो यागक्रमाराध्या रहस्तर्पणतर्पिता सद्यप्रसादिनी विश्वसाक्षिणी साक्षिवर्जिता षडंग देवतायुक्ता षाड्गुण्य परिपूरिता नित्यक्लिन्ना निरुपमा निर्वाण सुखदायिनी नित्या षोडशिका रूपा श्रीकंठार्ध शरीरिणी प्रभावती प्रभारूपा प्रसिद्धा परमेश्वरी मूल प्रकृतिरव्यक्ता व्यक्ता व्यक्तस्वरूपिणी व्यापिनी विविधाकारा विद्या विद्यास्वरूपिणी महाकामेश नयना कुमुद आह्लाद कौमुदी भक्तहार्दतमोभेदा भानुमद्भानुसंतति शिवदूती शिवाराध्या शिवमूर्तिर्शिवंकरी शिवप्रिया शिवपरा शिष्टेष्टा शिष्टपूजिता अप्रमेया स्वप्रकाशा मनोवाचा मगोचरा चिच्छक्तिश्चेतना रूपा जडशक्तिर्जडात्मिका गायत्री व्याहृति संध्या द्विजवृंद निषेविता तत्वासना तत्वमयी पंचकोशांतरस्थिता निस्सीम महिमा नित्य यौवनामदशालिनी मदघूर्णित रक्ताक्षी मदपाटलगंडभूः चंदनद्रव दिग्दांगी चांपेय कुसुमप्रिया कुशला कोमलाकारा कुरुकुल्लाकुलेश्वरी कुलकुंडालया कौल मार्ग तत्पर सेविता कुमारगणनाथांबा तुष्टिपुष्टिर्मतिर्धृतिः शांति स्वस्तिमती कांतिर्नंदिनी विघ्ननाशिनी तेजोवती त्रिनयना लोलाक्षी कामरूपिणी मालिनी हंसिनी माता मलयाचलवासिनी सुमुखी नलिनी शुभ्रशोभना सुरनायिका कालकंठी कांतिमती क्षोभिनी सूक्ष्मरूपिणी वज्रेश्वरी वामदेवी वयोवस्था विवर्जिता सिद्धेश्वरी सिद्धविद्या सिद्धमाता यशस्विनी विशुद्धिचक्रनिलया रक्तवर्णा त्रिलोचना खट्वांगादि प्रहरणा वदनैकसमन्विता पायसान्न प्रिया त्वक्स्था पशुलोकभयंकरी अमृतादि महाशक्ति समृता डाकिनीश्वरी अनाहताब्ज निलया श्यामा भावदनद्वया दंष्ट्रोज्ज्वलाक्षमालादि धरा रुधिर संस्थिता कालरात्र्यादि शक्त्यौघा वृता स्निग्धौदन प्रिया महावीरेन्द्र वरदा राकिन्यंबा स्वरूपिणी मणिपूराब्ज निलया वदनत्रय संयुता वज्रादिकायुधोपेता डामर्यादिभिरावृता रक्तवर्णा मांसनिष्ठा गुणान्न प्रीतमानसा समस्त भक्त सुगदा लाकिन्यंबा स्वरूपिणी स्वाधिष्ठानाम्बुजगदा चतुर्वक्त्र मनोहरा शूलाद्यायुध संपन्ना पीतवर्णातिगर्भिता मेधोनिष्ठा मधुप्रीता बंधिन्यादिसमन्विता तद्यन्नासक्त हृदया काकिनी रूपधारिणी मूलाधाराम्बुजारूढ़ा पंचवक्त्रास्ति संस्थिता अंकुशादिप्रहरणा वरदादिनिषेविता मुद्गौदनासक्तचित्ता साकिन्यंबा स्वरूपिणी आज्ञाचक्राब्ज निलया शुक्लवर्णाषडानना मज्जा संस्था हंसवती मुख्यशक्ति समन्विता हरिद्रानैक रसिका हाकिनी रूपधारिणी सहस्रदल पद्मस्था सर्ववर्णोपशोभिता सर्वायुधधरा शुक्ल संस्थिता सर्वतोमुखी सर्वोदन प्रीतचित्ता याकिन्यंबा स्वरूपिणी स्वाहा स्वधामतिर्मेधा श्रुतिस्मृतिरनुत्तमा पुण्यकीर्ति पुण्यलभ्या पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तना पुलोमजार्चिता बंधमोचनी कालका विमर्शरूपिणी विद्या वेदादिजगत्प्रसूः सर्वव्याधिप्रशमनी सर्वमृत्युनिवारिणी अग्रगण्या चिन्त्यरूपा कलिकल्मषनाशिनी कात्यायनी कालहन्त्री कमलाक्षनिषेविता ताम्बूलपूरितमुखी दाडिमी कुसुमप्रभा मृगाक्षी मोहिनी मुख्या मृडानी मित्ररूपिणी नित्यतृप्ता भक्तनिधिर्नियन्त्रिणी निखिलेश्वरी मैत्र्यादिवासनालभ्या महाप्रलयसाक्षिणी पराशक्तिः परानिष्ठा ज्ञानघनरूपिणी माध्वीपानालसामत्ता मातृकावर्णरूपिणी महाकैलासनिलया मृणालमृदोर्लता महनीया दयामूर्तिर्महासाम्राज्यशालिनी आत्मविद्या महाविद्या श्रीविद्या कामसेविता श्रीषोडशाक्षरी विद्या त्रिकूटा कामकोटिका कटाक्षकिङ्करीभूता कमला कोटिसेविता शिरस्थिता चन्द्रनिभा भालस्तेन्द्रधनुप्रभा हृदयस्थार विप्रख्या त्रिकोणान्तरदीपिका दाक्षायणी दैत्यहंत्री दक्षयज्ञविनाशिनी दरांदोलित दीर्घाक्षी दरहासोज्ज्वलन्मुखी गुरुमूर्तिर्गुणनिधिर्गोमाता गुहजन्मभूः देवेशी दण्डनीतिस्था दहराकाशरूपिणी प्रतिपन्मुख्यरा कान्ति तिथिमण्डलपूजिता कलात्मिका कलानाथा काव्यालापविनोदिनी सचामररमावाणी सव्यदक्षिणसेविता आदिशक्तिरमेयात्मा परमापावनाकृतिः अनेककोटिब्रह्माण्ड जननी दिव्यविग्रह क्लीङ्कारी केवला गुह्या कैवल्यपददायिनी त्रिपुरातिजगद्वन्द्या त्रिमूर्तिर्तिदशेश्वरी त्र्यक्षरी दिव्यगन्धाढ्या सिन्धूरतिलकाञ्चिता उमा शैलेन्द्रतनया गौरी गन्धर्वसेविता विश्वगर्भा स्वर्णगर्भा वरवागदीश्वरी ज्ञानगम्या परिच्छेद्या ज्ञानदाज्ञानविग्रहा सर्ववेदान्तसंवेद्या सत्यानन्दस्वरूपिणी लोपामुद्रार्चिता लीलक्लुप्तब्रह्माण्डमण्डला अदृश्यादृश्यरहिता विज्ञात्रिवेदवर्जिता योगिनी योगदायोग्या योगानन्दायुगन्धरा इच्छाशक्ति ज्ञानशक्ति क्रियाशक्ति स्वरूपिणी सर्वाधारा सुप्रतिष्ठा सदसद्रूपधारिणी अष्टमूर्तिरजाजैत्री लोकयात्रा विधायिनी एकाकिनी भूमरूपा निर्द्वैताद्वैतवर्जिता अन्नदा वसुधा वृद्धा ब्रह्मात्मैक्यस्वरूपिणी बृहती ब्राह्मणी ब्राह्मी ब्रह्मानन्दबलिप्रिया भाषारूपा बृहत्सेना भावाभावविवर्जिता सुखाराध्या शुभकरी शोभना सुलभागतिः राजराजेश्वरी राज्यदायिनी राज्यवल्लभा राज्यत्कृपा राजपीठा निवेशित निजाश्रिता राज्यलक्ष्मी कोशनाथ चतुरंगबलेश्वरी साम्राज्यदायिनी सत्यसंधा सागरमेखला दीक्षिता दैत्यशमनी सर्वलोकवशंकरी सर्वार्थदात्री सावित्री सच्चिदानंदस्वरूपिणी देशकाला परिच्छिन्ना सर्वगा सर्वमोहिनी सरस्वती शास्त्रमयी गुहांबा गुह्यरूपिणी सर्वोपाधिविनिर्मुक्ता सदाशिवपतिव्रता संप्रदायेश्वरी साध्वी गुरुमंडलरूपिणी कुलोत्तीर्णा भगाराध्या माया मधुमतीमही गणांबा गुह्यकाराध्या कोमलांगी गुरुप्रिया स्वतंत्रा सर्वतंत्रेशी दक्षिणामूर्तिरूपिणी सनकादिसमाराध्या शिवज्ञानप्रदायिनी चित्कलानंदकलिका प्रेमरूपा प्रियंकरा नामपारायण प्रीता नंदिविद्या नटेश्वरी मिथ्या जगदधिष्ठाना मुक्तिदा मुक्तिरूपिणी लास्य प्रिया लयकरी लज्जारंबादिवंदिता भवदा वसुधा वृष्टि पापारण्यदवानला दौर्भाग्यतूल वातूला जराध्वांतर विप्रभा भाग्याब्दिचंद्रिका भक्त चित्तकेकी घनागना रोगपर्वत दंबोलिर्म मृत्युदारु कुठारिका महेश्वरी महाकाली महाग्रासा महाशना अपर्णा चंडिका चंडमुंडा सुरनिषूदिनी क्षराक्षरात्मिका सर्वलोकेशी विश्वधारिणी त्रिवर्गधात्री सुभगा त्र्यंबका त्रिगुणात्मिका स्वर्गापवर्गदा शुद्धा जपा पुष्पनिभाकृतिः ओजोवती दुधिधरा यज्ञरूपा प्रियव्रता दुराराध्या दुरादर्शा पाटली कुसुमप्रिया महतीमीर्निलया मंदार कुसुमप्रिया वीराराध्या विराड्रूपा विरजा विश्वतोमुखी प्रत्यग्रूपा पराकाशा प्राणदा प्राणरूपिणी मार्ताण्डभैरवाराध्या मंत्रिणी न्यस्तराज्यधूः त्रिपुरेशी जयत्सेना निस्त्रैगुण्या परापरा सत्यज्ञानानन्दरूपा सामरस्य परायणा कपर्दिनी कलामाला कामधुक्कामरूपिणी कलानिधि काव्यकला रसज्ञा रससेवतिः पुष्टा पुरातना पूज्या पुष्करा पुष्करेक्षणा परंज्योतिः परंधाम परमाणुः परात्परा पाशहस्त्रा पाशहंत्री परमंत्रविभेदिनी मूर्ता मूर्ता नित्यतृप्ता मुनिमानसहंसिका सत्यव्रता सत्यरूपा सर्वांतर्यामिनी सती ब्रह्माणी ब्रह्मजननी बहुरूपा बुधार्चिता प्रसवित्री प्रचंडाज्ञा प्रतिष्ठा प्रकटाकृतिः प्राणेश्वरी प्राणदात्री पंचाशत्पीठरूपिणी विशृंखला विविक्तस्था वीरमाता वियत्प्रसूः मुकुंदा मुक्तिनिलया मूलविग्रहरूपिणी भावज्ञा भवरोगग्नि भवचक्रप्रवर्तिनी छन्दस्सारा शास्त्रसारा मंत्रसारा तलोधरी उदारकीर्तिरुद्दाम वैभवा वर्णरूपिणी जन्म मृत्युजरातप्त जन विश्रांतिदायिनी सर्वोपनिषदुद्घुष्टा शांत्यातीता कलात्मिका गंभीरा गगनांतस्था गर्विता गानलोलुपा कल्पनारहिता काष्ठा कांता कांतार्धविग्रहा कार्यकारण निर्मुक्ता कामकेली तरंगिता कनत् कनकताटंका लीला विग्रहधारिणी अजाक्षय विनिर्मुक्ता मुग्धा क्षिप्रप्रसादिनी अंतर्मुख समाराध्या बहिर्मुख सुदुर्लभा त्रयी त्रिवर्ग निलया त्रिस्था त्रिपुरमालिनी निरामया निरालंबा स्वात्मा रामा सुधाश्रुति संसार पंक निर्मग्ना समुद्धरण पंडिता यज्ञप्रिया यज्ञकर्त्री यजमानस्वरूपिणी धर्माधारा धनाध्यक्षा धनधान्य विवर्धिनी विप्रप्रिया विप्ररूपा विश्वभ्रमणकारिणी विश्वग्रासा विद्रुमाभा वैष्णवी विष्णुरूपिणी अयो निर्यो निलया कूटस्थाकुलरूपिणी वीरगोष्ठी प्रिया वीरा नैष्कर्म्यानादरूपिणी विज्ञानकलनाकल्या विदग्धा बैन्दवासना तत्त्वाधिका तत्त्वमयी तत्त्वमर्थस्वरूपिणी सामगानप्रिया सौम्या सदाशिवकुटुम्बिनी सव्यापसव्य मार्गस्था सर्वापद्विनिवारिणी स्वस्था स्वभाव मधुरा धीरा धीरसमर्चिता चैतन्यार्घ्यसमाराध्या चैतन्यकुसुमप्रिया सदोदिता सदातुष्टा तरुणादित्यपाटला दक्षिणादक्षिणाराध्या धरस्मेरमुखाम्बुजा कौलिनी केवलानर्घ्या कैवल्यपदधायिनी स्तोत्रप्रिया स्तुतिमती श्रुतिसंस्तुतवैभवा मनस्विनी मानवती महेशी मंगलाकृतिः विश्वमाता जगद्धात्री विशालाक्षी विरागिनी प्रगल्भा परमोदारा परामोदा मनोमयी व्योमकेशी विमानस्था वज्रिनी वामकेश्वरी पंचयज्ञप्रिया प्रेतमंचाधिशायिनी पंचमी पंचभूतेशी पंचसंख्योपचारिणी शाश्वती शाश्वतैश्वर्या शर्मदा शंभुमोहिनी धराधर सुता धन्या धर्मिणी धर्मवर्धिनी लोकातीता गुणातीता सर्वातीता शमात्मिका बंधुक कुसुम प्रख्या बाला लीला विनोदिनी सुमंगली सुखकरी सुवेशाढ्या सुवासिनी सुवासिन्यर्चन प्रीता शोभना शुद्धमानसा बिंदुतर्पण संतुष्टा पूर्वजा त्रिपुरांबिका दशमुद्रा समाराध्या त्रिपुरा श्रीवशंकरी ज्ञानमुद्रा ज्ञानगम्या ज्ञानज्ञेयस्वरूपिणी योनिमुद्रा त्रिखंडेशी त्रिगुणांबा त्रिकोणगा अनघाद्भुत चारित्र्य वांछितार्थप्रदायिनी अभ्यासादिशज्ञाता षडध्वातीतरूपिणी अव्याज करुणामूर्तिर्ज्ञानध्वान्तदीपिका आबालगोपविदिता सर्वानुल्यङ्घशासना श्रीचक्रराजनिलया श्रीमत्त्रिपुरसुन्दरी श्रीशिवा शिवशक्त्यैक्या रूपिणी ललिताम्बिका एवं श्रीललितादेव्या नाम्नां साहस्रकं जगुः इति श्री ब्रह्मांडपुराणे उत्तरखंडे श्री हयग्रीवागस्त्य संवादे श्री ललिता सहस्रनाम स्तोत्र कथनम संपूर्णम्। I'll be back. Hari Om. We will begin with the invocation for Bhagavatam. सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतः चार्थेष्वभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेर्जो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयः यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमः निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनं श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तक्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमुतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. The student who is the mother of Bhagavan Kapila, she is also the teacher, and after listening to a very systematic approach to life of sadhana, life of a seeker, she says, how does one engage in such a way that bhakti in different shades, different modules can be applied and increased? And then the details of several aspects of the Ashtanga Yoga. So, way before Patanjali Rishi introduced the Ashtanga Yoga, it was already introduced by Kapila Mahamuni way back to Devahuti Ji as well. And Patanjali Rishi wrote a separate treatise on it, which is called the Yoga Siddhanta, Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So, the same thing, very concise format, but going through every step. So in the 15th shloka we saw, up until the 15th shloka we saw that how the bhakti yoga sadhana can be inculcated. Now from the 15th shloka onwards, it is going to be the several steps that which will make the Ashtanga yoga fruitful. So he says that first and foremost, Swadharmena mahiyasa, that one should be following and living a life wherein the nitya naimittika karma that has to be performed, the daily unavoidable must be fulfilled karma. As a parent, to be able to provide for the children a safe, secure environment, nourishing food for the body, food for the thought, and the environment where they can get educated and grow up to be a very responsible human being. While fulfilling all these duties, one should perform them with the attitude of karma yoga sadhana, wherein these nitya naimittika karmas that have to be performed are performed as an offering to that supreme and to be done selflessly. The next, consciously work in such a way that while in the field of interactions, we do not express any kind of frustration, irritation, agitation of ours unto anybody, whether it is through the thought, word, or deed. And that's a huge thing, right? That in every walk of life, and best inspiration is Bhagavan Shiva. He consumed the poison, neither spoiling his heart nor spewing it out on the world, but it is kanthe. It remained there, neither disturbing himself nor disturbing others. And Kabir Das ji also puts it very beautifully. He says, "ऐसी वाणी बोलिए जो मन का आपा खोए, औरन को शीतल करे, आपहु शीतल होए." That which I mean, of course, we cannot please everybody around, but consciously we should be aware that whatever my thought, word, and action is being expressed, it should not cause, or be the cause of spreading my frustration around. Then allot oneself a time wherein regularly, in a disciplined manner, consistently, day after day, in that particular time, we have an altar, and towards that altar, our Ishtadeva Vigraha is in the middle. Usually, there is the Panchayatana. Panchayatana has a sequence of 5 Devi Devatas. So there is Shaiva, Vaishnava, Shakta, then Ganapatya and Saurya. Whoever is your Ishta Devata, if it is different formats of Bhagavan Vishnu who have taken avatara, then you place the Saligrama right in the middle and the rest of them around. If it is Devi, then you keep the Shri Chakra in the middle and the rest of them in the 4 corners. If it is Bhagavan Shiva, Shivalinga in the middle, so on and so forth. And with lot of love, invoke that conscious principle, imagining, visualizing that from your heart you are placing that pratishtha of Bhagavan, invoking in that particular pratima in front of you. And then the puja, stuti, vandana of that Bhagavan who is seated right in front of you. A regularity in that is a must. And then towards all the different beings, when I say beings, not just limiting to human form, human as well, but towards all format of sentient beings, have the bhavana as if Bhagavan himself is walking around in those forms. There are some forms that you might want to pet, that is okay. But there are some formats wherein you invoke the devotion from a distance. Especially in Texas, where there are these different kinds of serpentine creatures, where sometimes you will not be able to even know that it is there. In the ashram environment, there are these copperheads, and when you see them from distance, do namaskara and walk away. You don't need to go hug them. Do not invade their space and do not disturb them. That would be respecting them. Then, with lot of devotion, lot of vairagya, dispassion, and immense amount of dhairya. Dhairya here means not to be interpreted as courage, but dhairya here means to have immense amount of patience. The one who has patience with one's own self can have patience with others as well. Most of the time, that impatience expresses out as lot of our frustrations. So to have that, but how is our patience? I had seen this a very long time ago, and it said a cartoon kind of a thing. There's a long line to a barber shop, and that fellow is in the very end, and he is saying, Oh Lord, give me the patience, but damn it, give it right now. Even to ask for that, we do not have the patience. Then, when you see somebody who is a, a great man, a saint, a great person, try not to disrespect them. We have this side commentary. We don't need to. And if we have listened to Tattva Bodha, where Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya ji says, all the good that is done by the realized one, the punya phala goes to the devotees that respect them. All the papa phala, if any be, it goes to those who censure them. We already have enough in our plate. Why invoke more? Benefit of doubt, zip up. Clear? Then, those who are economically backward, those who are poor, those who are Swami Shivananji used to use a very beautiful word there. Nara Seva is Narayana Seva. That you invoke that Narayana Seva and worshipfully offer and serve them, those who are in need. But understand that those who are in need, more than their need to be fulfilled, it is my responsibility to help them. That has to be the attitude with which we serve them. Then, says, in all walks of life, follow and live Yama Niyama Purita attitude. Yamena Niyamena cha, 17th shloka. Follow Yama and Niyama. Yama is to control the organs of action. Niyama is to control the organs of perception and the mind. Constantly invoke that self-discipline and self-control wherever we are. Some would say, well, that would mean that it is contradicting my very nature. I want to express freely. There one has to understand what is my true nature. Is it the mind and its different modifications that have to be expressed, or that which is the nature supreme? We are wrongly attributing that which is the nature of the equipment as my nature, and then the freedom and ability to express it. Then he says, without fear, without awkwardness, sing the glories of the Lord wherever you have the opportunity. Log kya samjhenge? It doesn't matter. When you have the opportunity to sing the glories of Bhagavan, sing them unhesitatingly as Uchchaswara, Uchchakantha, meaning you get engaged and involved in singing the glories of Bhagavan. No, there is no mention of mic and speaker systems. Just sing. पता चला तो स्वामी जी ने बोले तो ब्रह्म मुहूर्त काल 4 o'clock, उत्तिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ गोविंद उत्तिष्ठ गरुडध्वज उत्तिष्ठ कमलाकांत. No, our sadhana should not become a nuisance for others. Then he says, without the ego, follow the Bhagavad Dharma. Now, having performed all of this, then such individual can start engaging in asana. इतना सब करने के बाद, as a consistent practice, then asana, then pranayama, then dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Then from the 20th shloka he says that, understand, O mother, that I am seated as the very essence, as the very heart of everything that which is out there. I am the very substratum which is all pervading, and that which you experience, you are able to experience because I am the substratum underneath. So I am the very essence of every format that has to be there. The 21st shloka is quite a strong hammer that Bhagavan Kapila Mahamuni is mentioning. Aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatma vasthita sada tam avagnyaya mam martyaha kurute archavidambanam. There is a story. One of the Maharashtrian saints, either Eknath Ji or Namdev Ji, in those days, there is this yatra that was being performed. Very rarely to these days that I see people performing that yatra. Is they start wherever they are, they start towards Rameshwaram, do the archana of that Shivalinga there, carry the sand from Rameshwaram and walk all the way to Kashi, offer that sand to that Gangaji, take the worship Bhagwan Shiva, Mata Annapurna Devi, and bring the Ganga Jala, walk all the way back to Rameshwaram and offer it to that Shivalinga. It is considered as one of the great tapas. A very good sadhana. So this Mahatma Ji, he traveled to Rameshwaram, did the puja archana, went to Kashi, did the puja archana, and was coming back with a pot full of Ganga Jal. And in order to help them walk, there were some donkeys as well to carry the load and luggage. There was one particular donkey in that particular entourage of people which was braying because it couldn't move forward, and when investigated found that it was very thirsty, and that was an arid patch before just about a day's journey or 2 days journey towards Rameshwaram, almost reached. So everybody neglected it in the urgency to reach Rameshwaram. So this Sant Mahatma takes that donkey out of compassion and he says, Hey Shambho, it is my sacred opportunity today to worship you in this form where you are thirsty. Let me offer this Ganga Jala as my archana. And everybody is like, bhrasht ho gaya iski mati. Like, he has lost his sense. Why? With all this effort, you have gone and you're almost culmination there, almost a day and a half trip left, and now you are wasting all that Ganga Jala on this donkey. And I said, my Rameshwara is right here, and my yatra concludes with this here, with this archana of that Shiva in this form. Otherwise, what happens that which is supposed to be the hub of the society to bring forth all the minds into that spiritual realm, which happens to be the mandira or devalaya, we limit our devotion only up until there. That my devotion is as long as I am in that particular time and space. I am a bhakta as long as I am on the asana performing whatever I have to perform as sadhana. As soon as I get out of it, I am a vibhakta. Not the Sanskrit vibhakti. I am talking about the vibhakta meaning vimukha. The bhakti bhava doesn't translate into day-to-day actions. But he says very, very clearly, kurute archa vidambanam. Engaged only in that kind of archana, not expanding. That is called hypocrisy. Yo mam sarveshu bhuteshu santamatman anishwaram hitvarcham bhajate maudhyat bhasmanyeva juhoti saha. The example given is so amazing. See, whenever there is a yaga karma, that havan karma that has to be done, you cannot be doing that yaga karma in a dying fire. So especially if you have observed, after all the ahutis are done, there is a final step called purnahuti. So during that purnahuti, first and foremost, what they do is they ignite the fire, the flame, to the maximum, because there is a lot of offering that has to go into that purnahuti, and when you are offering it, the flame should not be a minuscule one that the moment you start offering, it gets extinguished. Sometimes when there is not enough wood, it's almost turned into ashes, maybe an ember here and there. Into that, if you do ajyadhara of purnahuti, then it is like offering your offerings into bhasma. So Bhagavan Kapila Deva is mentioning that those who do not see that Bhagavan all over, in and through everything, through every being, through every creature out there, and just focus devotion as devotion is meant only done when it is on the altar or in the temple. Rest of it, we behave cutthroat, uncompassionate towards the world. So how is their effort? Maudhyat bhasmanyeva juhoti saha is like a big yaga karma being done but the offerings are being offered into bhasma. Similar statement I have in Telugu we use. It's boodidulo posina paneer. It's like worthless effort. There's a useless effort because it doesn't yield the phala. Om Agnaye Swaha Idan Namama. But where is Agni? There is only Bhasma there. So futile effort. Similarly is this futile effort wherein if we do not expand ourselves, and what is the limit of that expansion? In Upadesha Sara, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi Ji says it very beautifully. Ashtamurti Bhrit Deva Pujanam. The Pancha Mahabhutas, the sun, the moon, and the nakshatras, including them, everything that you interact with in this expanse, to be able to see and worship as that Ishvara alone, as that Ishta Devata alone, as your own Guru Murti. That kind of puja has the phala. But just doing it in one restricted space and to say that that is done, but we don't allow our own mind to expand to this bigger horizon, then it becomes nishkriya, nishphala. Because it expands. If not done with this attitude, it expands only the individual's bheda drishti. And wherever there is bheda drishti, there is always going to be a superiority and inferiority complex. And the kind of inhumane way that we start behaving towards that which is considered by us as inferior. So though the dharmanusthana is being done, but yet if this attitude is not changed, then that Bhagavan, that Paramatma will never have darshan. We will never have darshan of that Ishvara. Why? The upasana is to see something other than that Ishvara always. Because the mind is written only in that Bheda Drishti. I mean, this whole concept he repeats till the 27th shloka. Almost about 7 shlokas in trying to say that this attitude in bhakti is a must. That Paramatma is in and through every aspect of this creation, and that has to be recognized. Therefore, it is worship worthy. Therefore, my attitude towards everything should be with the bhakti bhava. Those who keep jumping with sarva dharma samabhava, where is this attitude in the other mata or the other religion? It would be considered as a blasphemy if you worship anything of this creation as Bhagavan, because it would be considered as tuchha. But whereas in our ways, what is the very definition of upasana? A very good definition of that upasana is nikrishta vastuni utkrishta bhava iti upasana. In your wallet or purse, do you carry a photo of your children or family photo? देखा है बहुत लोगों के वॉलेट में, पर्स में होता है. Because whenever you look at them, there is a surge of love, inspiration, looking at your own family, right? Now if I play, let us be scientific minded. हमको साइंस हर जगह पे अप्लाई करने का मन करता रहता है. More than the PBJ, we like spreading this scientific approach wherever it is inappropriate. So let me also apply. What are you looking at? It is few colors smeared on a paper, isn't it? Some might feel even hurt. Swamiji, this is my husband or wife, these are my children, the older one, the younger one. So I'm like, kahan pe? Where? Because there is nothing other than the color smeared on the paper. So expand it. What are you worshipping? Whatever has been carved, either it is a stone or a crystal or a metal or sometimes wood or a printout. Where is Bhagavan in that? As what, when you see a family photo of your loved ones, The space that you go into is the most pleasant, most inspiring, loving environment that you reach to. The paper, Nikrishta Vastu. But through that paper and the print on it, what am I connecting to? Something Utkrishta, something very noble. Similarly, you take a stone and you are invoking in that round stone. When you go to Narmada Ji in near Vadodara, or you see that across the banks, be careful because there are a lot of crocodiles there. So being careful, you go to the banks of it and you see almost every single stone is nice, round, polished. Every stone. And they are often called as the Banalinga. A darker shade and a lighter shade mixed into that stone, but nicely shaped. No, say, Swamiji, the river is coming with so much of force that anything that rolls in there over a period of time, by the time it reaches here, obviously all its rough edges will be smoothened out and it will become this kind round shaped, smooth round shaped. And now it is too much now. Every stone now you're going to pick and say it is Shivalinga, Shivalinga, Shivalinga. Yes, it is a stone. But that Nikrishta Vastuni, just a mere stone, I am invoking that Jagadishwara in the stone. So the Bhava Shuddhi happens. If that Bhava Shuddhi is not the focus, that when I am interacting with the world, I see only Nichata, only Nikrishtata, only Dushtata, then I will be reveling only in that. Therefore, even the seva attitude that has to be inculcated is the beginning. It starts from the attitude that it is not Nikrishta, but it is that Utkrishta, my Ishtadeva in that form. So, continuing, he says in the 28th and forward, he says, Jivaha sreshta hya jivanam tatah prana bhrata shubhe tatah satchittah pravaraha tataschendriya vrittayaha. The 28th shloka says, there are jivas that express both as sentient and insentient. मतलब क्या कि पत्थर में भी जीव होते हैं, but the prana, they are not called as prani. Why? There is no scope for that expression. Imagine, the logic is going in a different direction, but just because that topic has come, this has been mentioned. Imagine that because of our erroneous perceptions and papa kritya done so heavy that we are born as a stone. हो गई शामत. That jiva is stuck there for so long a period. Better than that, sreshta than that, the insentient expression is the sentient expression. Better than that is the plant kingdom. Better than the plant kingdom is those who have the ability to move. Now, in that, those who can move, the Sreshta are those that have Indriya functionality. See, Krimi Kitaka, the small ones that which we cannot even probably see with our naked eyes, that which exist, they don't have these Indriya faculty. So there, the list is given. Even in that which have the Indriya faculty, better are those that have Rasa Grahana, that they can taste. Better than the Rasa Grahana are those that can smell. Now, Rasa Grahana, like the fish. Smell are the bees and the bumblebees. Then the better one is that, better than the smell is the one that can hear. Now the hearing is like the snakes. Better than that are those who can see. Better than that is those who have 2 rows of teeth. Not every animal out there, every sentient being has teeth. So those who have those 2 rows of teeth. Better than those is those who have several legs to move about. Better than them, those who can walk on 2 legs. In those who can walk on 2 legs, Manushya is supposed to be the best of the birth. Why? Only in this life of being a Manushya, the Chaturtha Purushartha can be fulfilled. The yoni, which is, or the format of expression, which is lower than Manushya or higher than Manushya. Oh, there is higher than. There is Manushya Gandharva, Deva Gandharva, Gandharva. The list goes on all the way up to Brahmaloka. That is why Adi Shankaracharya Ji is one of the favorite words that when he has to say the entire expanse of it, he says Pipilikadi Abrahma Bhuvananta. From the ant, the smallest creature that you can probably see, to Brahmaji, there is a sequential order. Yes, there are higher beings higher than the human, but they also cannot apply themselves for moksha. It is only in the human birth. Jantunam nara janma durlabham. I think Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya Ji got that concept from these particular shlokas, because then he starts, Bhagavan Kapila goes into the list of being a human being. What kind of human is Sreshtatama or Uttama? Those who have the ability to get expertise and knowledge, those who can apply that knowledge, those who can apply that knowledge with a sense of dedication, sense of dispassion, detachment, as a seva for those who are in need, and lead a dharmic way of life and perform their actions with nishkama bhavana. And the best is those who have recognized their true nature as the Atma Chaitanya and realize that this Atma Chaitanya alone is pervading through all the forms from Pashana to these different formats that have been said. Such one is considered as Uttamottama of the human form. Probably in a book called Self Unfoldment, where Gurudev says there is a stone man, then there is the tree man, then there is the animal man, then there is the man, then there is God man. Sometimes by mistake we are born as a man, a human form, but because of the pressure of the earlier vasanas, we may be behaving like a plant man, jada. No pratispandana, no response. Meaning there is a response, but not appropriate response. Sometimes we know that, right? We even have these emotions similed to an animal, like a sloth, like a pig, like a fox, like a jackal. Right? All these emotions to different pashu. Pashutva comes out. Where one of the sadhanas earlier mentioned was that we behave without agitation, irritation, and without smearing that across to anyone in this world, anything in this world. And he finally concludes this particular chapter saying, "O Mother, in this creation, everything functions by the orders of that Ishvara." Now this statement has to be understood. Please understand it clearly. Because we mistake this statement and use it every which way that we feel convenient. Everything is functioning as the orders of that Ishvara. Meaning what? The fire has the dharma of heat and light. The water has the dharma of fluidity, sapidity, flow from higher to lower. That is the nature of, that is the dharma of water. There is the same concept that is covered even in the Upanishad. Bhishasmad vatah pavate bhishodeti suryaha bhishasmad agnischendrascha. And it says mrityurdhavati panchama iti. Even that who we are all afraid of, which is Mrityu. Mrityu is afraid of that Ishvara and functions by the orders of that Ishvara. So he says, "O Mother, everything that which is in this creation is by that Ishvara who is maintaining this creation, who is also known as Vishnu. By his orders," now here this being the Bhagavata, it is mentioned as Vishnu. If you go to the Ganesha Purana, it will be mentioning the same concept as Ganesha. Not that the Upanishads or the Puranas are confused. We invoke that particular form of God who is that Ishvara expressing in this form. So, Yad bhayad vati vataha ayam suryaha tapati yad bhayat. So, vataha pavati, the air breezes by whose orders. So the concept that has to be understood when we say that everything happens with the will of Bhagavan, we bring it down to the application wherein we find ourselves stumped. Swamiji, har cheez, everything happens. Sab hari ichha, Bhagavan ichha. It becomes fatalistic. I don't have to do anything. Hari will take care. Hari, are you listening? Everything. Hari ichha, Hari dekh lega. When I said everything happens by his will, meaning every vastu's dharma is being ascertained by that Ishvara. Having thus ascertained, every karma's karma phala, when, how and who experiences it, that arrangement is again decided by that Ishvara. Rest of it is by our choice, freedom in that choice of when to apply, how to apply, whether to be stuck or to grow out. We know where we are. How good, how pathetic, how bad, how awesome, we know where we are. Whether to grow from here to a sublime state or to be stuck, frustrated where we are stuck, nobody is forcing you. That is not Hari Ichha, that is your Ichha. Am I making that distinction? In spite of our Ichha to go either direction, wherever we take, if we do not choose to do that for which this human birth is meant for, yet Bhagavan out of his compassion keeps giving us the opportunity to explore and grow. That is his benevolence. Am I getting across? So he says, "O mother, understand this as the creation is created by the order of Bhagavan." I'll give one last example before I can conclude for today. If you have played a video game on your system, that particular video game, how many chances, what are the different kinds of things that can be applied, not applied, what are the ground rules, and sometimes they give you number of lives, chances for you to get from one stage to the other, and even in that crossing from one stage to the other, there are 5 stars, 4 star, 3 star, 2 star, 1 star, and if not, you have to go reattempt it. If you have a certain level, you fulfill with all the stages of it in 5 star, then you get certain perks. The architect is the Ishvara of that particular game, who decides who in that game behaves what way and what are the feasibilities of various things. After having designed and launched it to you, you the one who is using it, looks at the game and he can say, Ishwar Ichha, Ishwar Ichha, Ishwar Ichha. Tu kab karega? Guruji, one of his very favorite jokes is, this person used to go to Ganesha temple and constantly worship Bhagwan. I need to win this lottery. I need to win this lottery. That 40-day puja sankalpa, he did all the 41 days and then again came and started crying, Bhagwan, I did 41 days of puja, still there is no. So Bhagwan, frustrated, he came down and he knocked one sense into him and said, Pehle lottery to khareed. There is some purushartha that we have to put. We suddenly realize that everything is Hari Ichha. What about your purushartha? Purushartha for the Vasana Kshaya, Purushartha for Moksha is my choice. So let us make the right choice, like how Devahuti Ji made the right choice. From here, the discussion becomes, the next 2 chapters are interesting. The Jiva's travel from one body to the other. How does the Jiva attain to a human body? Having attained, what happens at several stages? All of that is discussed in this next 2 chapters that we will see next week. So let me invite Sushma ji. Sushma ma, तैयार हो?
हाँ जी।
चलिए हनुमान चालीसा।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी, बरनउँ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार, बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरौ कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ ब्रज और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणियत चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस बदन तुमरो जस गावे, अस कह श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिक्पाल चहाते, कवि कोविद कह सकै कहते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीना। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्त्र जोजन पर भानु, लीहू ताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जल दिलांधि गए अचरज नाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होतन आज्ञा बिन पैसारे। सब सुकल है तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आपे, तीनों लोक हाकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरई, हनुमत से ई सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय डेरा। की जय नाथ हृदय डेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय डेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसौ सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।
धन्यवाद माते।
हरिओम।
हरि गारू रना 3 times.
ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्
Thank you, Hari. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम।